Yeah, this is the Enco mill. I finished the assembly on this head portion. I still got to put the motor on, but I'm going to be lifting this unit up onto the top of here. Now what I do is I loosen these bolts up here, so when I lift it up I can swing the head over, so I don't have to move this unit. Once I get it up, the head will just swing over and I'll be right over it and just position it down. I got to lift it up and I got to put those bolts on and then lower it. Now fortunately for me, it's got a little lip underneath here, so these hooks will hook in here without coming out. I just got to make sure that I lower this unit with those 3 bolts on into those holes, because I don't want the 3 bolts to be on top of the unit and then these straps will come loose, because the 3 bolts will hold the unit up. So I got to be careful that the 3 bolts go into the holes so the whole unit lowers without, I don't want to get the pressure off of these straps until the unit is down on top of the head. So I ended up using this block. I put it in the back through here so that if something did happen, this back hook will hold the unit up, but it's more or less to keep the kind of like a leveling thing, you know. If these hooks somehow shifted, then the unit will tip, but with this piece in the back, that helps stabilize it. But yeah, I don't see any problems. Now this area here, there was a hook on here, and I mean, I understand the principle of the hook. It's so when you hook something on, well, it's like a lever, and when you hook something on here, it keeps it from coming off. But the problem a lot of times is when you go to push this back, there's no room to put anything through here, because it takes up so much room that when you try to put something through here, it won't allow it to go through. I mean, even on the top one, it was difficult to get through, and that's just a thin little strap, and down here I had to wrap it around several times. So fortunately or unfortunately, I'm not really sure what happened to those hooks, but for some unknown reason, they seem to come apart. I really don't know what happened. Oh, don't look at that. I don't know what happened, but I'm kind of glad they came apart, even though I don't know what happened. All right, well, we got to get busy and get this thing up here. All right. Yeah, so here we are. Through the power of time warp technology, I turned you off and then I turned it back on. We completed the assembly of the head. Got that on. Now I was here looking at this before I lifted it up, and I noticed the distance between the top of that pulley and the bottom of that head, where the shaft comes out that engages the mechanism to make the drawbar go up and down. And I measured that, and then I measured the distance from that pulley up there, which I had on the blue thing, the blue strap, and I measured it to the top where it had to go to the top of the machine, and it was short by 3 inches. So I couldn't lift the head up high enough to get those bolts in there, those 3 bolts. So what I ended up doing was I took that pulley off of the strap and I hooked it directly onto the C-clamp, and that gave me the 3+ inches I needed. So then I was able to lift that head up. I thought, oh man, now I'm gonna have to take this thing apart. I gotta take that unit out. I gotta take that ring off, take the belt off, and separate everything. It was so easy to do an assembly on that while it was on my lift cart, and then just lift the whole thing up as a unit. And I was thinking I have to take that all apart. I mean, that's like a half a day's work. Take the screws out of the pulley and take the belts off and all that, and then put it all back on. But I was able to get that, I was able to make it work. So by hooking that pulley directly onto the C-clamp, I got it to work and got it up there. And there was a little, I won't say misalignment, but the back end needed to be lifted up a little bit, and it was going on there crooked, and I didn't want to bend the quill, the spline part of the quill, so I had to hoist up the back end of that housing to get it to go on straight, and then I had to rotate the shaft to get the splines to line up. And then once everything was lined up, it just slid right down onto those 3 bolts. Then I positioned them and I just snugged them down just now, taking a break, another break. I take too many breaks. That's why I get nothing done. But anyway, I was thinking now that, gee, I hope I have enough room to put that motor on. I might have the same problem because now it's another 8 inches higher than it was before. So I'm going to have to position that hook really, really low onto that motor. I wish they would have put lifting hooks on that motor. I guess at the factory they grab it with some kind of fixture and hoist it up there and do what they got to do, but I'm going to take a look at it, and that's what we're going to do now. Going to start getting that thing ready to put up there. Then it's just a matter of hooking up a couple wires and we'll be back in shape. Okay. Hopefully we'll talk to you in a few minutes, but it might be a while. All right.